In this video, we're going to be talking about how to make a budget that actually works. I'll give you some tips, some tricks, and some secrets to why maybe your budget hasn't worked in the past. Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we learn how to make money, save money, and live well in retirement. Well, of course, one of the ways you save money is to set up some kind of budget. But if you're like me, you went for years and you couldn't figure out why your budgets that you created never seemed to work, and then you gave up. What gives? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about 7 reasons that your budget may not have worked in the past and how you correct that. And stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to be giving you a bonus as well. So let's get into it. Number 1, the main reason a lot of our budgets never work is because we are believing the best case scenario. We set up our budgets in the absolute best pristine case scenario. We don't really look at what we're spending right now. We set up what we want to spend. And that's an issue because we believe we're going to change months or years of habits with a snap of a finger and it's going to magically happen. Number 2, budgeting is not a one-size-fits-all. That's one of the problems when you download these little standardized budgeting forms, that say you're supposed to spend this percentage on housing and this percentage on food and this, it is not a one-size-fits-all thing. If you live in an area where housing is very, very expensive, there's no way you can keep that budget. If you live in an area where housing is very, very inexpensive, then your budget needs to be adjusted accordingly. Now, right off the bat, in order to set a budget, you need to know what your goals are. What are your goals? Is it saving for retirement? Is it having more free money to spend? Is it saving for a house? Is it being able to feel like you can pay down debt? What is your goal? Your goal determines how that budget will look. And your budget is going to be different from everyone else's budget. And guess what? It might even be different from the budget you had a year ago because your goals have changed. Number 3, you've got to understand yourself and your spending habits. Now, when I say spending habits, this also includes what some people would call spending triggers. Are you someone who shops online when you're stressed? Do you go into a store and spend money you don't need just because it gives you that little rush? You have got to understand where those spending habits come from. Because until you can recognize those habits and stop them before they happen, every budget you have will fail. So you've got to understand yourself first. Number 4, one of the biggest reasons budgets fail is you set a budget, but your family doesn't want to go by it. When you have other people that are involved or affected by that budget, they need to have a say in that budget. They have got to be on board, or they will do nothing but sabotage your efforts every single time. And this is true. If you've had a spouse for 5 minutes and y'all don't agree on how to spend money, it doesn't go well. Number 5, poorly defined goals. I already talked about goals a little bit. Super important. But if your goals are too broad, like, I want to make $1 million. Okay, how? What are you going to do? You've got to have well-defined goals. A well-defined goal is something like, every single month, I'm going to have $200 taken out of my paycheck and put into savings before I even see it. Goal number 1. Very well defined. It's got a time frame every single month. You know the amount and you know what you're doing. So you've got to define those goals well or you won't do them. An undefined goal is like a wish. It's just a wish. And if you don't have a step-by-step plan to do it within your budget, then it's never going to happen. And the more automated you can do it, the better. And that brings up number 6. We set these big goals, but we don't set the intermediary steps. We don't set that $200 a month. We don't set that when I get a tax return or a stimulus check, here's what I'm going to do with it. Instead, that money pops into the account. Oh, we spend it, we do this, we do that. Next thing you know, while you may have had the intention to do something great with that money, it's gone. And you don't have anything to show for it. That happens so fast. So before you go and spend that money, think about what your goals are. Is that money for retirement? Is that money to fix a deck? Right now I'm saving to fix a deck. And think about it beforehand, because once the money is in your account, that's not the time, because the urge to spend is there. So think about what you're going to do with that money before it's in your hands and you spend it and you allow your spending to get out of control. Number 7, if you're having trouble with setting a good, effective budget, one of the best things you can do is set a time span, a time limit for a budget that you set, and then reevaluate. For example, let's say 3 months. You think, well, you can do anything for 3 months. It's not forever. And that's one of the things that helps you, that whole, I'm going to be on this money diet forever, I'm going to die. No. If you say, okay, for 3 months, we're going to do this plan, and we're going to see how it works. At the end of those 3 months, you evaluate what you did. What did you do well? What did you not do well? And why? Why did you not do well? Were there unexpected things that came up, and what were they? That might make a difference in your goals for your emergency fund. If you have more unexpected things than you realize over the course of a year, that could affect that. Anything that happens in that 3 months is data for you to then use and alter that plan a little bit to be even better the next few months. Setting a really rigid plan and then trying to stick with it no matter what can absolutely be your downfall. So tell yourself you're going to stick with it for 60 to 90 days and then reevaluate and see what's actually working. The data might surprise you. Even though you're the one living your life, we really don't have a good understanding a lot of times of where all our money goes. So use the data to your benefit. Bonus, big bonus. One of the main reasons people's budget doesn't work is they don't make enough money for all the things they want to accomplish. So you got 2 choices. You can either get a side gig or another source of income to add to what you're doing. You can take on more hours at work, or you can cut back your life. If you've got goals that you want to reach that are financial, you're going to have to find that money somewhere. So either you cut back, and you may do that as well, you cut back, or you increase your income. The easiest thing to do, because you can only cut so far, and believe me, you cannot cut your way to wealth. It helps, but it's not going to get you there. So cut back where you can and still live, and then figure out, okay, how do I make more money? Do you get a raise? Do you get a promotion? Do you look at all the areas where you can make more money? Sit down with your spouse and discuss that. Can someone get a part-time job? Can you start making things at home? Can you sell things online? What can you do to add to what you're doing to reach your long-term goals? Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.